Do you want to know how to set up punch and roll recording in Reaper? Well, let's get to it.
456 Studios.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to this video on how to set up punch and roll recording in Reaper. I use this to record my audiobook narrations and voiceover lines for any kind of voice acting or narration that I need to do. So let's get to it. Let's jump into it. All right, now that we're in Reaper, this is the new version I just downloaded this morning, version 7.14. So if you've seen my previous tutorials on how to set up punch and roll recording, the menu items have slightly changed. So this is how you do it in the newest version to date. We're going to set up our track here first by right-clicking and inserting a new track. And then down here at the bottom, we're just going to right-click and make sure that our input is set to the correct input. And that's going to depend upon your setup and how you're configured. But we'll just make sure that we're on the right microphone so that we're all ready to go and start recording when we need to. Now we're going to enable the punch and roll options. So first, we're going to come up here to options. We're going to make sure that we are in record mode normal, and then come down here to new recording that overlaps existing media items, and make sure that we're in trim existing items or tape mode. By default, we're going to be in this split existing items and add takes. And what that's going to do is kind of set layers below kind of our recording. It's more useful if you're doing music and you need those comps, and you want to kind of keep track of those comps. We don't want that for voiceover or audiobook narration. We just want one clean punch and roll take at the end. So make sure that we're trim existing items or tape mode. Make sure that we're in that mode. Another setting that you might find useful is coming down here to Snap Grid and turn off Enable Snapping. This is turned on by default. So behind us is the grid. And if we have snapping enabled, you're going to snap to each one of these little lines. Well, when we're doing a narration, we want to be a little bit more precise. We might want to be in the middle of one of these when we start to punch in and re-record over our previous take. So turn off snapping. That'll help you out a lot and save you a lot of frustration trying to fight between these lines and zoom in and try to fix it that way. So the next item that we're going to set is under options, and we're going to go to metronome and pre-roll settings. Down here at the very bottom, you're going to see these settings here. Make sure that we have pre-roll before recording set and start pre-roll at the start of measure set. This one's kind of optional, but I like it to kind of jump back and give me a little bit more time. Now, this DAW is kind of set up more for music, in my opinion. So you're going to notice that it's going to refer to measures. So at the start of each one of these lines up here is going to be a measure, the big, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Since we have the default settings enabled. This is going to jump back 3 of those, play your previous recording for those 3 measures, and then start recording on your input or your punch. So we're going to go ahead and set this to 3 or whatever you like. You can set it to 1 if you'd like, or 0 if you just want to, start immediately recording. I like to give myself a little bit of time to hear the previous recording and know how I need to say that line again, what the inflection or tone was in my voice. So I set this to 3. I find that's a pretty good option for kind of going back and giving me enough time to find my place in the text and start over. All right, next we're going to come up here and kind of go into the section that's the meat and potatoes of punch and roll, setting up our actual buttons to punch in and roll over the top. So let's go to our show actions list here up in actions. And we're going to set 2 things in here. You're going to click new action. And I've already done this, so I'm just going to edit this action to show you what's in there. But it's going to pop up a window that looks just like this with new action in it. We're going to name our custom action, punch or punch and roll, whatever you want. And then we're going to search for 2 things: transport, stop, and transport record. And what that's going to do is it's going to set the point at which you want to stop and go back and resume recording. And this will enable us to, let's say we've done a recording, we've made a mistake, and we want to stop at a certain point. So we're going to stop it. We hit this button, it'll go back in time, play a little bit of that pre-roll for us. 3 measures in this case is what we've set, right? And then resume recording at that point that we indicated that we stopped at, right? Now let's say you mess up that same line again. We'll just hit the punch button again. It'll delete what you just recorded and start over again. Give you the pre-roll, and you can try the take again. And you can do this as many times as you want until you get the line perfect, which is exactly what we want for punch and roll recording. So this will set up that action for us. Once we've done that, the only thing left to do is to set the button that's going to enable that action. So we're going to make sure we're on our custom thing that we just built, and then we're going to click add, and then literally just push the key that you would like to use for that action for this punch and roll button. Now, there's another option that I like to set, and it's a modification of what your spacebar does. So if we go up to Find Shortcut and we just hit spacebar, I like to set mine to play stop, move edit cursor on stop. By default, I believe it's set to transport play stop. I like to set it to play stop, move edit cursor on stop because whenever you hit the spacebar, it stops you immediately where you're at. And that way we can kind of instantly stop, know where we're at, and go back and find the place that we want to punch back in. It's a little bit more helpful than the normal play stop because it'll just go back to the previous point that you've indicated, right? So the way that we enable that to do that is we're going to click on here, we hit add, and then you just add the space bar to it. It's going to tell you that, hey, you already have this assigned. Like if I try to assign it back to the default behavior, it's going to say, hey, it's already mapped. Override it, and you're just going to hit OK, right? That's what we want right there. Play stop, move edit cursor on stop. All right, now we're ready to punch and roll record. So to see kind of this in action, if we arm our track, turn off, monitor input, so that we're not hearing ourselves in this recording. Then we'll just record a little bit. We'll do a little flub, and I'll show you kind of how it works. So we'll hit record here, and it's going to count us in. You see those 3 measures. And we're going to say some lines, and maybe we make a flubby flub right here. Flubby, flubby, flub, flub. We're going to hit our space bar. It stops us right where we're at with that new assignment, right? Otherwise, it would have jumped us back to right where we started. So it's a little bit more helpful to have it here instead. Let's say we messed up right here and we want to re-record that. It's going to go back 3 measures, right? So we'll hit our button, our bracket in this case. We're going to hear ourselves talk again, and then we'll resume recording. And then I'm going to mess up again, let's say, and we'll do it again. So I'll show you that kind of functionality as well. We're just going to hit the bracket key when we want to do that. So here we go. And maybe we make a flubby flub right here. Flubby, flubby, flub, flub. All right. And then we resume recording right here. Oh, wait. I waited too long. I need to go back. And maybe we make a flubby flub right here. Flubby, flubby, flub, flub. And now the line is perfect. And there you go. And that's the basics of it. You can keep hitting that bracket button or whatever button you've assigned over and over and over again until you get that correct. And as you see, it's kind of trimmed for us, and we just resume right where we left off. There shouldn't be any kind of crossfading or anything like that that's going on with it. So right here, flubby, flubby, flub, flub. And now the line is perfect. There you go. It is perfect, isn't it? And that's how to set up punch and roll recording in Reaper. If you have any questions, make sure to leave them down below in the comments, and I'll make sure to get to them. So now that we know how to set it all up, let's get to some recording, shall we? Let's get to it.